I thought when you let the ball go at the end of the third quarter, it was good. They didn't tell us anything.
Oh,
so they just
yeah.
took it
They
away.
no,
Did
they
say
didn't
you
count
were-
it,
was
unfortunately.
late?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they called it off. I wanted it. I hoped it counted, but no, it didn't.
Did you feel it was good?
Yeah, I felt it. Yeah. I thought with the time running down, I thought I got it off.
Yeah.
Like
I also thought it was good.
like point. I was thinking like 0.4, maybe 0.5, but apparently not.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was one play and nobody said anything. It was too
Review it. I know.
Yeah, like in 1 second, though.
I know. It was a quick decision. Yeah, very weird.
On another topic, last game, when you came out, you mentioned that you needed to have more, the team needed to have more want, hustle, desire. And do you feel like you guys produced that today and played at a higher level, even though the result wasn't what you wanted?
Yeah, I definitely felt that in the first half for sure. I felt there's a lot of heart, a lot of want in that first half. Right now, I think our biggest problem that we got to address is our third quarters. That's kind of where we break down, and it's hard to build back out in that fourth when you're down, 12, 15, then to 20. So we gotta come back, gotta get together and figure out that third quarter. I personally would love to tell you why it's happening right now, but that's just something for us to look at, days to come to figure it out.
Absolutely. I mean, everything she said. We got to be able to put a full 40 minutes together, and any team in the Big Ten, it doesn't matter who we're playing, is too competitive for us to only have, a good first half and try to hope to be in a position to win the game by the end of it.
Lene, obviously, what's the message been the last 2 days coming off a tough game against Minnesota, and now you get turned around and have to face Michigan State?
Right. Obviously pretty disappointed in our performance, and we know we have room to grow, and we have to grow. We have to make strides every single day. Kind of to my point, each team we play is just some of the best teams in the country. So as much as you want to look at every mistake and continuously try to learn from that, we got to move on to the next one and be able to put all of our attention to the next opponent, because every day, every time we play a team in the Big Ten, it's another huge opportunity for us to take a stride in the right direction.
So today you were out-rebounded again, 32-24. How is the physicality of the Big Ten opponents you face so far really changed from your non-conference opponents?
Yeah, there's a big difference. It's the best conference in the country, and I believe that's on every aspect of the court. Rebounding, one of them. I think for the most part, rebounding is just a will. It's a want. Like I said last game. There's really not much to it. We just got to figure it out, find a way.
Ladies, I actually was going to compliment that the rebounding got better today than the last two games, actually. Your second chance points, you actually beat them in second chance points today. And in the first half, you had 10 second chance points alone. In the first half, rather. What was the difference? Was Coach been riding you guys on the rebounding?
Every single day that we practice, there's going to be a huge segment of rebounding. And, and if you look at it that way, I appreciate you said that. I guess we did make strides in that area. But, again, we're going to continue to have to be a high focus point. And Shay said it before, but it's a will, it's a want, it's a fight. Like, if you're going to hit bodies and still let them, get a few more boards over you, I mean, it happened to me a couple of times today, you got to be able to win that fight every single time.
Another very hard one tonight or this afternoon for us against a really good Michigan State team that is really good. They're great in transition. They're a great cutting team. Grace Van Sluten, I think, is a pro. Have really, really, really good pieces. Rashonda Jones has really found a home there. As being a great piece for them. And they're very well coached. Robin and her staff do a terrific job. And I thought tonight or this afternoon for us, we didn't really talk too much about it the other night, after the Minnesota game, which felt so much worse than this. And the reason I say that is because, anytime that you give a team 32 more shots, you're not going to win. And we did that against Minnesota, and I didn't think our effort was what it needed to be. On the flip side of that, I thought our effort was good, was better. How about that? Was better to this afternoon. Our ability, especially in the first half, I think we're down, they're out rebounding us maybe by 1 at halftime. We do some really good things, but, the game is so funny in terms of how a quick, 2 or 3 possessions in a row can really flip, and change the momentum, but also change the way, the game is being played. And for us, it's by that I mean, some of the decisions we make offensively, right? We've gotten a stop, we come down, and we're making really good decisions, offensively and getting good shots. And then, we go back down and we get another stop. Then we come back and then we go away from that. The game can flip so fast, and that's what our kids have to understand. If you're not disciplined, if you're not sound, if you don't have discernment on what a good shot is and what we need, and to stay within the kind of the confines of what we're trying to do, because you still want to play fast, you want to give them freedom, but we also, as I mentioned the other night, our margin is so small that we have to make sure we're always getting a great shot. And some of that had to do with Michigan State. Some of that had to do with us, just making sure, and we got to go back and we got to keep teaching them, and they got to keep learning. When you see those stretches, right? When it's tied up, right? And you come down and you lose 23 who'd already hit a couple threes, right? In transition, like that. Those things are backbreakers. They just can't happen. Our kids are learning that. They're finding it out. They're not learning it fast enough, for the staff. But like I said, they're hard lessons to learn. But I do think, it's my responsibility, and to continue to show them and try to teach them just how important a 2 or 3 minute swing can flip the game. And I thought, in the third, again, did a few good things in the fourth. Like I said, really liked how we played in the first half, but just wasn't enough.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Today's effort on the boards, I thought, was a lot better. Second chance points, you actually beat them in second chance
Right.
points today. I thought that was fantastic, but you're still struggling defending the paint. Are we going to have to wait for Z to return to see a solution to that?
That's a great question, because I don't think it all just falls on Odessa and Jade, who are playing, at that 5 spot right now. I mean, it starts with all of us, and we knew this about Michigan State. Over 50% of their shots were going to come in the paint. And so we really wanted to be hard in our gaps. Now, what we didn't anticipate, Skip, was 23 getting so hot. I mean, we didn't anticipate that, and we even talked about it before, the game started. Like, we can't go off course if they do hit a few threes. Like, that's what we're willing right now, because we want to be high in our gap. We know they want to drive it. We know they want to cut. We have to be high in our gaps. We got to be in our help. We got to make sure that we have vision on the ball, vision on our man, because they're also exceptionally at cutting away from the ball. And so in the 2 days, I mean, that's really what we repped and we talked about. Will getting Z back help that? Probably, because Z is more athletic. Z can move laterally. Z can get off the floor. She is probably a better rim protector than Odessa is because of her athleticism. But I don't know that it's fair for us to sit here and say it's just our 5s. Do they have to get better? They have to continue to get better. Will it help when Z comes back? I think it'll help. But the lessons that I think Odessa particularly is learning right now are going to be good for her as we move forward in the season because he's not going to be able to play 40 minutes, and she's getting really good reps at that. But trust me, that was transition was the number one key. We felt like we had to get our point of pickup early. We didn't do a great job of that tonight. Get to our matchups quicker, and then we talked. Again, a lot about the gaps, building a wall, being in our high gaps, knowing that, again, they're drivers. They want to drive it. When 23 puts it on the deck, when Van Sluten puts it on the deck, they're not throwing that thing out. Can we be in our gaps enough to supply some help to Odessa? And we had moments where we did that, but just not enough, like I said, not enough of those moments, right? That it was good enough to help us win the game tonight. And so, we have to keep getting better. No, there's no doubt about it.
Coach, obviously the third quarter breakdown has been a big issue the last two games. Shay was asked about that. She said, I wish I could give you the answer. What do you think it is when you come out of the locker room?
Yeah, I have to, I'm right there with Shay because trust me, we talked about it. We talked about it at halftime. We talked about it, and that was my first thing that I said to him before we talked about any adjustment or the things that were happening in the game was let's think back to the other night, our third quarter where we started and couldn't get the stop. We gave up two back-to-back offensive rebounds. They didn't score out of it, but yet that was the way we started, right? And we were sort of in the same scenario tonight, where all we had to do, and again, before they went out, let's get that first stop. Let's get that first stop, and let's go stop, score. And so, and then, we get them to take a shot. It's a long rebound, and we can't get the rebound, and they get the ball out of bounds, and then they score on it out of bounds, and so. I don't know what the answer to that is, but it's something, trust me, that we will keep harping on until we can not just hear the message, but again, I said this the other night, we got to do something about it, right? The message can only go so far. We gotta as I always tell them, you gotta draw the line in the sand. Enough's enough. We're not allowing it to happen anymore.
I actually have two questions. One is a broader personnel question. Do you have a better sense of when Zania might be back?
No, Lou, I wish I knew.
Not yet.
Yeah, she's not been back in practice yet. She's been doing some workout, like a 20, 30-minute workout, but she's not been in practice.
Faith was in uniform today? Was she
She
available?
was. She's been cleared. She's just not, she's been out for a long time. I think we got to slowly, get her back in the mix. But today wasn't the day. She just, got released a couple days ago from her.
Was Phoenix not there?
Phoenix was playing, or was there tonight. She was available. It's just that we decided to go with Journey. And I thought, I thought Journey was I thought she was a bright spot for us. She gives us great energy. She understands her role. And that's the thing about those guys coming off the bench. There is role identity that we all have to have. And sometimes, a kid like Journey is embracing her role. Like, look, we need you to come in and keep the ball moving, try to attack because she is quick. She's small, but she is quick. Try to be pesky defensively. And get the ball to, the people that need it in their hands. Try to open up something, create shots for others. And she's willing to do that. She is not. I think trying to get a shot is an afterthought for her, and that's okay because we need her to do some other things, and that's generate energy behind the ball and try to help us get it side to side, open up some gaps. Where it puts pressure on the defender, and then find those kickouts.
Well, you mentioned how things can flip so quick.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the third quarter, those of us who were watching where we were watching from thought that Chase shot was good. And
yeah, I wish
they
it
did
would
such
have
a
gone in.
quick review.
Yeah, you know.
Wait, Shay said in here she thought she beat the
Right.
clock too.
I-
And then right after that is when things changed.
Now, Lou, don't get me started with the officiating, right?
No, we've all
My
talked
dad
about
and I
that.
had that conversation. Yeah, they were not much help tonight. So anyway,
We did say
Yeah.
in our private conversation
Yeah.
that we didn't think it was their best day.
yeah.
So,
Well,
but
and again,
there seemed to be one that when if it counted,
Right.
the lead was down to 7. Right?
9, yeah, it was because, yeah, it would have been 9. But what a great momentum, right? It's just like, it's all coaches, we all want the same thing. At the end of a quarter, if you have the ball, you want to score it to have momentum going into the locker room, right? The last thing you want when you have to get that stop right before halftime is you give up an offensive rebound, put back, layup, which is what we did to Van Sluten. Those are backbreakers, right? And so, shots like that where it's like, yeah, that would have been a really, I think, nice punch, in the arm for us if it would have gone down. But again, their job is hard, and it didn't count. But we needed to do some other things and not have to rely on circus shots, if you will, right? To give us that momentum. Yeah, it was pretty. She shot, I think, with her left hand, so which is hard to do. And so, again, I don't want to seem like it's every time we're going to talk about our team that it's doom and gloom. It's not. I thought our effort was better today, and those kids need to know that. And we'll share that with them. Like, you guys did some really good things today, and we just got to we cannot be result oriented. We have to be so process oriented about just getting better and learning lessons and getting better. And, again, you've heard me say it before, those freshmen that you have out there in Maya and Nevaeh, and Bo is a freshman. I don't care what you say. She is a freshman to me because she's played no minutes of significance for us, right? Z also, she is a freshman to me. She played 0 minutes at UCLA. We're playing a lot of young kids, and I don't know maybe it was Austin, and we were talking in a very old league right now. This season we're in a league where there's a lot of old players, whether they're seniors, whether they're grads. Minnesota had old players. Michigan State, she has 7 seniors, I think. I mean, we are in an old league right now, and for us, we're not. We are very, very, very young, and that's not an excuse. But I do think we should keep that in perspective. Like, that's part of the process. These guys have to make mistakes. They got to learn from the mistakes. Would we like things for them to click and it's not going to happen that fast. They're going to continue to make mistakes. And my biggest thing for this group, you guys, is I just want us to play with great effort. That's all I want. That's the number one thing that I ask them. Can we play with great effort? And can we play with a better second effort? Not just the first effort. Can we get a great second effort as well? And I thought we did a much better job today of that. And so hopefully that will be something that we can continue to grow from. But if there was one, I think highlight, it's that. I thought their effort was what it needed to be today.
All right,
Yep. Oh, what do you got?
sorry, go ahead.
You're all right.
Coach, so Shay, for the 3rd time in 4 games, has played all 40 minutes. and Chesky, Beaumont, and Caffey have all played 35 minutes or more in the past 2
Sure.
games. Like, are you worried at all about an over-reliance on starters playing when bench players like Phoenix and Chloe receive 0 minutes?
Yeah, I'm concerned about it. There's no doubt. But I will say this with your bench, all right? I talked about role identity. That's why Journey's in that, right? That's why she's coming off the bench. Everybody has to accept their role. And sometimes that's not always the case, right? And so you have to embrace your role, but it's funny how people always say, well, if they only could get a chance in the game. Well, if they can only get a chance in the game. What about all those chances that they've gotten the last 4 months, the last 2 days inside of our practices? What about all those reps? And as I tell them, what you do in practice is probably what you're going to do in a game, right? So if you want to get it right, then I'm going to trust you to get it right in the game. If you're not going to get it right in practice, then I don't know that I can trust that you're going to get it right when it counts, when those lights are on, right? That's how you earn playing time. That's how you earn starting roles around here. That will be the standard. And if you don't live up to the standard, then you have to sit over there and watch and wish that maybe I could get a tick here, right? But that's not how we're going to do it. You're going to earn your way to the floor. And how you earn your way to the floor is by being focused every day, by having those reps. Look, mistakes happen. I get it. However, you can't have the same mistake over and over and over and over again and expect all of us that are in these shirts, to think, oh, that's what she's going to do, come Thursday afternoon. So